welcome to Go Read a Book.
We've been talking for like 10 minutes already.
We've restarted this over and over and over again. We just get carried away.
It's funny. So this week we're discussing The Silver Star by Jeanette Walker.
It's real good.
You know, so I read half of it like a year ago, because that's how busy I've been. And then I read the other half this weekend, and I finished it last night. But I remember it being, was it kind of slow at the beginning?
I didn't feel like it was.
Was it
I was hooked.
I don't know, but I feel like it literally was like, nah, and then everything happened in the last 10 pages. I remember being like, how are they gonna wrap this book up? And then there was a trial, and then he got killed, and then like everything was happy, and like emus, and you're like, wait, what does
that have to do with anything?
So the emus was weird. The fact that he literally got killed because he thought it was a bear, and then people are like, yeah, okay, seems great.
Well, if you're that hated, just know this could be your destiny.
Yeah.
To be murdered, and everyone in town to be, all right,
That's the thing, but no one was like that at the beginning. Maybe because he had so much power, I guess.
Yeah, he had a lot of power.
It seemed like it literally went from 0 to 60 real quick.
Oh,
and then the book ended, and you're like, what? So everyone's happy, the mama's gone, there's like no kind of
there's no resolution
with that. Yeah.
I usually don't get really upset about endings, but this book, I love this book. I absolutely recommend it. We're like doing this episode of going to book backwards, but that's okay. Just go with it. But the ending, I don't even.
It just came too fast, right?
Yes.
Because like she fell in love with these emus. They were there the whole time, right?
The end. Yes.
Well, like, emu.
It was like an emu story.
It was, yeah, it was an emu.
I loved the beginning. I thought it was so interesting. For one, this is set in the 1970s, which that's not super common. Like you read a lot of books that are set in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, and then they'll skip to like 80s.
Yeah, I guess that's true, yeah.
So it was funny because when I was reading the book, I kept imagining that they were in like the 50s. I don't know why, but like I think it's because I read so many books set in that time period, like, you know, The Secret Life of Bees and books like that.
Yeah.
Set in an earlier time. Some things never change.
That sounded like he growled from over there.
So
Did you hear that?
He can throw his voice. But yeah, I found myself forgetting what time period it was set in and imagining something different. So what I did was I looked up the car of the bad man. What was the car called?
Man.
Is that how you pronounce it? I kept pronouncing it Le Mans in my head.
That makes sense. I don't know.
I don't know. But I looked one up and I was like, okay, now I can visualize the 1970s.
That's actually probably, it was just a big car, right?
Yeah,
I just figured it was like a big boat of a car. He was like such a bad guy, and then it had that build up, and then it just kind of happened. And they really don't go into detail about it. They just come like, this happened. And then Ruth was like, oh, this happened to me too.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? This is kind of crazy. She's such an amazing writer. It's like very easy to read. Like I read this like while I was in the pool. I read it when I was just like it was a very good book for different
scenarios.
Yeah, yeah. So like if I was just like on vacation, which I was on vacation this weekend, I read it on vacation, or if I was just like on my couch and I wanted something to read, like it was very easy, but it wasn't too easy where it's like Twilight. Like
yeah.
Twilight. You know, it's like
it challenges you to think a little.
Yeah.
Something I loved about her writing style, and this is a little bit hard to explain without just reading a little excerpt. Let me see if I can find one. I should have had this prepared. But the way she writes dialogue, what she'll do is start a paragraph with direct dialogue. So it's in quotation marks, the person saying it. And then for the rest of the paragraph, she will take it out of quotation marks, but write it almost as if the person is still saying it, but it's like indirect. So let me see if I can find...
That's so specific.
Oh, it's so good though. And it's so well done because there's so much dialogue in this book that doesn't look like dialogue, because if it was all dialogue, for one, it would look crazy because anytime there's dialogue in a book, right, it starts on a new paragraph. So if she wrote it as direct dialogue, this would be indenting constantly, and it would just be distracting for the readers. An example of what I'm talking about, it's on page 170 if you have this copy of the book, and it's really like on every page ever. But in this one, the first sentence is like a direct piece of dialogue. It says, it's not really a question of what you're supposed to do, it's more of a question of what you want to do. Mr. Corbin picked up a paperclip and pried it apart. We had two options, he went on. One, we could press charges, which would create a big stink and a nasty trial with a lot of god-awful publicity, but might result in Mr. Maddox being punished for what he allegedly did. On the other hand, there was no guarantee of that. So everything after that first sentence.
See. Yeah, and it's so funny because I remember that paragraph from that. And it, yeah, that makes sense. It's very subtly.
It's so unique. It's so unique. And I was like, who taught you to write this way? It's so smart. Because if that was all there, it would just seem clunky and overpowering and too much dialogue, but it's still what he said. It's just not written in dialogue form.
That's interesting.
Anyway, she does it throughout the book. I noticed it in like the first chapter. I was like, whoa, this is novel. Gotta have one per episode.
And
It's very novel, and I loved it.
maybe there are just a lot of situations, just like in real life, that are just really dirty and complex, and they don't have an ending to them. You know, I can think about it in my life just with like people who come in and out. I'm like, I don't really understand why that happened. And maybe that's why with the mom, like I don't understand what the mom is doing, or like why there's no kind of like something that happens with the mom, but maybe that's what it is, and that they just learn to live in Byler. And
Yeah, it's like a slice of life book.
yeah,
More than anything else.
I think so.
It doesn't have that resolution. Something that I wanted to mention, I'm a terrible book reader friend because I texted Moira a picture.
Not that your Instagram did it.
Well, I did, but
You texted her?
but then I sent you like the link, I think, right?
You're like, look at this.
Yeah, I was like, read this part of the book you haven't gotten to yet. And I just didn't think about it, but now she can finally read my
It was on
Instagram
Go Read a
post.
Book, I remember.
Yeah, I posted this on Go Read a Book. I just thought it was so powerful. This is Bean speaking. She says, Mom, I don't know what I want to do, but we can't just leave. Why not, Mom asked. Every time we run into a problem, we just leave, I said. But we always run into a new problem in the new place, and then we have to leave there too. We're always just leaving. Can't we for once just stay somewhere and solve the problem? Phone drop. Phone drop. Phone drop.
Phone drop.
It brought me to tears. Moira's gonna cry laugh tears.
Oh my god, that was amazing. You just looked up and you're like, well.
I did. It was so powerful to me. Yes.
Yeah.
We, especially now, we live in a generation of people who leave. We leave when we're scared. We leave because we're bored. We leave for a plethora because it's hard. And that's the thing. The mom wants to leave again because they're in a hard situation. And they're saying, no, I'm tired of doing this over and over and over again. And to be that young and to think that, I understand it's fiction.
Yeah.
But still, like, what a great lesson to learn so early in life, that sometimes staying is the most powerful.
I got all the feels.
But sometimes it's the most powerful thing that you can do, and it's the thing that growth can come from the most.
What did you think about Maddox? Like, did you know immediately that he was gonna be a bad guy?
Oh, for sure. When Mr. Maddox like first kind of starts behaving inappropriately with the girls.
I mean, the whole time.
Well, yeah, the whole time. I mean, he was behaving inappropriately business-wise for sure.
Yeah.
Like, bringing these girls to his home. It was super creepy to begin with. But when the physical part comes into it, I was shocked that they just kind of didn't say anything. I was like, I guess when you're a child, you know, even coming into adulthood, a preteen, whatever, and something like that happens, you maybe feel overpowered. I don't know, but I was just shocked. I was like, I can't believe they're not saying something to anyone.
What do you mean? Like when he touched her?
Yeah.
Like her armpit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was
weird.
But it was so like it was like on the edge of being. I mean, it was inappropriate, but like it was on the edge of being like, that was weird.
Right.
Should I tell somebody? If someone came to me and was like, yeah, someone touched my armpit, I'm like, well, that's just weird.
I know, but like one day if I have a 12-year-old daughter and some man touches her armpit, I'm gonna warn her that that could happen after this book.
Yeah.
I'll be like, if any man ever touches her armpit.
Wait, I needed to say.
We need to talk about something, Sally.
You know what's also crazy, thinking how bad he was? Like that trial, you're like, oh man. The guy just like took everything. We can see where like so many things can just be spun. Like I just watched The Jinx.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started.
And the whole trial, you're like, what? How is this happening? This guy literally hacked this guy into pieces. There's just some really good lawyers out there. I could see that in the book where they spun everything where like, to me, it was like an open and shut case. But then, you know, everything just happened. You're like, oh, you just see how sometimes the law, like the justice, like it's not really justice. But that's neither here nor there.
Like I said at the beginning of this video, I absolutely would recommend this book. It's a fairly easy read, but it has really strong themes that resonated with me a lot, you know, about not leaving when you're facing something difficult, standing up, having courage, family, all of this stuff was very powerful for me, and I definitely would say to grab a copy.
I think so too, and I think it's a book that you can read wherever. If you're on vacation, if you're, you know, just at home for the weekend, it's a book that can span everything and makes you feel good.
Yeah! And in our last video, which was like 10,000 years ago, we promised a grab bag. So check the description box below to see if you are the lucky winner. We'll make sure to message you, private message you to get your address. And not to mention, I colored some pictures. We'll include those, and you're more than welcome to put them on your fridge or throw them away. But mostly put them on your fridge. The next book we are going to read is The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. And we'll try not to leave you guys for as long next time, but we can't make any promises.
No promises are being made.